Hey, what's up YouTube? City FBS here, and today I wanted to talk about my 3 must-have items for fighting the Storm King, specifically on Expert Mode. Now this is more so for those of you who haven't ventured into Expert Mode that much, or maybe you just haven't decided to take on the Storm King yet. With these 3 items, I believe you'll be golden whenever you're actually ready to take on the Storm King. Now first things first, you're on Expert Mode, so obviously you have to have a Totem of Return, because on Expert Mode, if you die without one, you lose that world permanently. Also, the enemies are a lot stronger. Now you don't need just 1 Totem of Return, not even 2 Totems of Return. If it's your first time fighting the Storm King, I wouldn't go in with any less than 5 Totems of Return. Now I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Now which totem should you use? Well, I suggest a mixture for first timers. I think 3 green totems and 2 blue should suffice. Equip the green totems first and go in and see what the Storm King is like. And once you're comfortable with the mechanics of the fight, I would then switch to the blue totems. Green totems are much easier to make, and I think they should be used when testing out the waters. Now in order to make the green totems, you simply need 50 storm cores, which drop from storm wild enemies. I think the skeleton wolves drop the most at a whopping 15 cores apiece. Then you need 5 of any thread, so that's silk, heavy wool, or normal wool thread. Then you need 12 slabs. I believe the easiest and most abundant slabs will be granite or marble slabs. And finally you need cursed bones, which drop from the skeleton wolves, so while you're farming for bones, you'll also be getting your storm cores if the wolf happens to be storm wild. Now for the blue totems, you'll need similar ingredients, so you need the same amount of storm cores and threads, but then you'll need 10 metal plates, which you can make with any metal ore and wood at a smelter. And then 3 bear pelts. It can be frost pelts or normal. The bear pelts will be the most annoying thing to get. You can roam around the outsides of the storms and farm bears that way, or alternatively, I heard that you can go through the dungeons, and if you come across the floor with the storm wild bears, you can kill some, leave, and then come back and the bears will keep spawning. I haven't tried that method myself, but it's worth a shot. And as far as the white totems, I don't think they're worth much at all. I mean, maybe when you first start out you can make them, just to make sure you don't lose your world, but that's it. And lastly, this isn't a totem of return, but it is a charm. You'll want to get the purple health charm, and maybe even the blue storm charm, just for while you're traversing the storm landscape, and increases your storm timer by a pretty decent amount. Now for the health charm, you'll need the following items: 3 wool thread, 5 cut amber, and a brute scale. You can simply pet sheep to get wool and then use a spinning wheel to make it wool thread. And the rough amber can be found in grassland caves, and you can cut it using a gem cutter. And I think you know where to get a brute scale. And for the storm charm, you need 3 silk threads, 6 copper bars, 3 storm shells, and 2 greater storm cores. You can get silk from killing spiders and then put it in the spinning wheel to make silk thread. You can get copper bars easily by roaming around your world and breaking those blue barrels that you see around abandoned structures. Now storm shells and greater storm cores require you to fight some storm enemies. You get the shells from the rollers and cores from the crawlers. Okay, so you've got your totems and your charms stocked up and ready to go. What else do you need? The answer to that question is good food. Grilled meat is very plentiful, but those 2 measly hearts you get back simply don't cut it. You need foods that you can eat quickly in a pinch and that give back a decent amount of health. And for that, I've got my top 3 options. Number 1 is storm fruit nectar. It takes like a second to drink and it gives you 4 hearts at a time. To acquire this, you'll need the storm fruit and storm cores, and then just go to a juicer and make it. I believe it's 2 storm fruit and 5 cores makes 1 drink. The second food is tropical smoothie. Just as fast as storm fruit nectar, but it only gives 3.5 hearts at a time. You need to venture to the Lost Isles for this one, as you'll need 1 coconut, 2 bananas, and a pineapple to make 1 drink. And last but certainly not least, we've got black and blue sushi. This is by far my favorite food to eat. It's as quick as the last 2 options, and it also gives 4 hearts at a time. Now I know you're probably thinking, 4 hearts? Isn't that exactly what the storm fruit nectar gives? And while yes, you're correct, what this does that the nectar doesn't do is give you 2 bonus hearts once you're full health. So the bonus hearts are the ones that are a slightly different color than your normal hearts. Now for this item, you'll need to do some fishing. You'll need 1 black and blue shield fish and 3 wheat grains. You can get wheat grain by putting wheat into a grain mill. Okay, so you've got your totems and charms. Check. You've got good food. Check. The last thing you need is weapons. Unless you want to fight them with your bare hands, that is. Yeah, maybe not. So what weapons do I suggest? Well, my favorite is definitely the crossbow. Good for long range attacks where I'm dealing damage and not taking damage. Secondly, a good sword. I'll get into what I mean by good in just a second. And last but not least, a spear. I actually just recently started using spears and they're really good. You can do multiple stabs in rapid succession much faster than a sword. Now all of these weapons should be crafted using the same materials, sapphire and gold bars. These two materials give you max damage and 4 rune slots per weapon. For the crossbow you'll also need string, and for the spear you'll need wolf claws. The wolf claws are self-explanatory, and you can make string by turning vine into cord at the spinning wheel, and then that cord into string at the spinning wheel. Now the sapphire can be mined in Frostlands caves, and you can cut it using the gem cutter. And the gold ore can be found in almost every cave in the Lost Isles. Also, if you destroy some of those tomato buildings in the Lost Isles, some gold bars may drop. But once you get your gold ore, you just put that in the metal smelter and you can turn it into gold bars. Now you've got good weapons, but they aren't completed yet. Ripping them makes them way better and essentially doubles their lifespan. And they also become legendary weapons. While this is good, I don't believe it's a necessity. But if you want to do that, just build yourself a legendary rune forge and have at it. Now what is a necessity is having good runes on your weapons. Now I'm sure others have their preferred combinations, but these are mine. For the crossbow, I like to have damage, which makes it hit harder, destruction, which gives you a chance to destroy spawners or the Storm King weak spots in one hit, Stormbane, so that I do more damage against storm enemies and storm wild enemies, and lifesteal. That gives me health back when I kill enemies. Now I mainly use the crossbow for Storm King damage, but if I have to take out some other enemies, I will. For the sword, I usually do zapping, damage, Stormbane, and lifesteal. It's perfect for when things get hairy, because zapping sends out lightning to surrounding enemies when you use your weapon, so you're killing an enemy that's full health and all the ones around it are getting weak. And so then, once you kill that initial enemy, you're cleaning up weak enemies and getting your health back. And lastly, for the spear, I like destruction, damage, zapping, and lifesteal. I mainly use the spear on the spawners and whatever enemies that get too close. It's really good on the spawners because of the destruction and the fact that the spear can do rapid attacks. So this means that the destruction rune kicks in more often. Now if possible, all of these runes should be level 3, and you can acquire these runes by reading the Klombo rune tomes, which you can find on all of those floating islands in the Lost Isles, and the Storm rune tomes, which you can get out of the chest as you complete each level of the various dungeons. And with that, I believe you have everything you should need to go and take out the Storm King. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Also, you should subscribe so that you don't miss my live streams. I'll be helping people defeat the Storm King on expert mode on Saturday mornings. So make sure you're in the chat if you want to take him on with me. Anyways, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.